I'm going to talk today about hunting black bears in Washington State, or other states. But I'm familiar with Washington State because that's where I am. So in Washington State, you're allowed 2 black bears a year per person. And black bears, we're not allowed to bait in this state. If you have an orchard, that's a natural attractant. You can't help that. So the state doesn't hold that against you. But we've had some success here. This is my 175 to 200 pound female. She was taken at 2 p.m. in September. So they're all different times of the day. This one was taken at 6 p.m. in August, first part of hunting season. This guy was taken in October. That one was a 150 pound one. The small ones tend to be more troublesome. They get into things more, and so they may be more mischievous. And when you're identifying them for hunting to see what size they are, I don't actually care what size they are because I'm doing it for protection at the homestead. But the size of the ears tells you how big the bear is. Okay, if its ears look big, then it's a small bear. And if you can see light under them, it's a small bear. This is a large bear. This is my dad's bear. He was 350, 400 pounds and taken in October. And this guy was taken August 7th of last year. He was 150 pounds and he was causing trouble. And his head and skull are missing because I kind of damaged him when I shot him. So hunting bears, black bears, you want to hunt. They're kind of like most other animals. They have their kind of relaxed times of the day where they don't usually show up. So you want to hunt from probably pre-dawn when you're able to safely see up to about 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, and that's typically when ours vanish. And then you want to restart hunting typically at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Bears move with shifts of weather. So like if it was sunny and then raining, or vice versa, raining and then sunny, then that's a great time to hunt bears because they get on the move when weather shifts. And one bear I ended up taking out but not retrieving. Black bears are extremely hard to retrieve. He was actually out in a rainstorm, which you don't usually see. But you want to hunt them in confluence areas between woods and meadows if you can. They frequent those. In patches of berries. They love native berries. So they'll be out eating, like if you find a good salmonberry patch and you have hunting early in the season. Here we don't hunt that early. The salmonberries are pretty well done by the time the bears are out and about and moving more. But we have huckleberries, and those are on till late in the season. And we have blackberries, and those are on from August to, September, October, depending on what's going on with the season. So anywhere where there's food for the bear, and the best way to hunt bears is to get somewhere and sit still and wait. Get somewhere that's likely they're going to go through. Now on our property, this is actually a wildlife trail. You can see back through the woods. The bears come up through here. They go up the driveway, over to the orchard sometimes. I've never ever actually, we've got a wildlife video that we caught of one with a game cam, but I've never actually seen them over here. But they go down below here by the pond, which is also not a good shot. So get somewhere where it's a good shot as well, because you don't want a bad shot on a bear. Bears are extremely hard to kill, but you want to make sure that you get the best shot possible. And if it's in thick brush like this, I'm going because you can't even see in there to safely shoot and to safely know where the bear is. So most of the hunting we've actually done has been in an open field right off of our porch. And we've taken most of those bears right off sitting on the back porch. Sometimes crows will let you know when bears are coming. If you watch the crows, they're cawing and perching in trees above the woods where the bear is. Once the bear gets into the open, or they feel it's open enough, they will stop calling because they figure everybody knows it's there. So be aware of that. But be aware when you're shooting a black bear of where your shot placement is. You can go for the heart, which is of course right behind your front leg. I've actually on several occasions, just because I'm using a shotgun, 12 gauge double aught buck, I just aimed for the ears, and with that one I got it, and the ears were gone. But it ended up being a neck shot because of the spread of the weapon. You can use bow and arrow, make sure it's heavy enough poundage that it's going to actually kill the bear. It takes a lot to kill bears sometimes, so you want a really good shot placement. Bears have a lot of hair that hangs down, so it makes them look bigger than they are. So a lot of shots, see how long the hair is, as opposed to like, you know, your elk or your deer. So it makes them look shaggy, and you think that they're bigger than they are, and a lot of shots go under the bear. You can use slug. You have to be a good shot, of course. And then with bear retrieval, because the woods are the way they are down here, some black bear areas, maybe the woods are not as dense, but they are here. And retrieval can be a really difficult issue because they can be laying just right there and you can't find it. This guy, my first bear, it was my first big game. Can't recommend that as a first big game, a black bear. It's very intimidating. But he was standing on a log when I took him out, and he just fell off the log and was just laying on the other side of the log. But because the brush was, 7 feet tall, it took us a while to find him. Because we first had to bust brush to get over to him, and then we had to locate him under the log where he had squirreled in. This one just kind of flipped over backward and rolled into the woods, and she was just right there. This guy, my dad, got a really good shot. He got a neck shot on him, and he just fell down right exactly where he was. Obviously the best shot is in the actual open, to where if the bear does run, then he doesn't run far enough to get out of your sights around here with a dense brush. Once they go in the woods, really hard to retrieve them. Really dangerous to retrieve them. My dad was charged once by my sister's bear after it retreated into the woods, and it only retreated remember now, they don't run 100 miles even if you've shot them with an arrow or a bullet. They just retreat a little ways, and he had just retreated, I don't know, 100 feet from where he was when she let fly, and so he was just laying down back there, and my dad went back to retrieve him, and he was not dead, nor dying. And this is why caliber is important, okay? And the double-aught buck works fine. I have had people look at me like I was an alien for using it, but it works just fine. Just making sure that you don't shoot under the bear. But we have lost lots of bears too, because of the denseness of the brush. And they can be hard to kill because of the density of the bone, the thickness of the pelt, and the thickness of the fat. Because you're looking at like a couple-inch fat layer on your bear that cushions the blow. So you want to make sure you get a really good shot on them. And retrieval, I would recommend always have more than one person there, so that if you get in trouble, then you can call for help. Because the one bear charged my dad. We ladies waited outside the woods while he went in, and he went in there and found it laying down, and he was going to go ahead and dispatch it, when all of a sudden it jumped up and ran toward him. He said he didn't think it saw him, but it did. It charged him. That was a charge. And was trying to, it wound up to be a bluff charge, thank God, and it ran past. But you do be aware that they're extremely dangerous to recover. So when you shoot it, be aware of what is the recovery going to be on this animal before you decide to shoot it. It's just like we've had opportunities back here on the trail, but because I have only a 6-foot trail cut and dense brush on either side, that's not a very good place to shoot the bear and take him out because the recovery is unlikely. The brush is very dense on both sides. Whereas the field I normally take them on in, the recovery is more likely, and we have lost a couple bears into the brush, but we've also recovered quite a few. So this has been my best advice bear hunting. We have a little bit of experience. You're always trying to get more experience though, and the bears do not entirely behave predictably, of course, as no wildlife does. As far as times of day, they can be around any time of day. We have some bears that come at midnight, and there's nothing you can do about that. But we had one bear we called the 10 a.m. bear. He was here at 10 a.m. every morning until hunting season started, and then he was gone. So, being aware of what time they're most probable to come. Those are the times of day we've harvested them, and that's worked for us. Right now they're going to have a very good food source with the berries, so they may not be as active coming out into a meadow as they are staying in the brush where they've got berries, and that's really hard place to hunt. But if you can find a little opening somewhere in the woods that you can do that, then that's great. But we're able to harvest ours and fill the larder, and it's absolutely wonderful meat. The meat tastes like beef, the fat tastes like pork fat, and you can make pie dough and cookies out of it, and it's really, really good quality. So we don't hunt for size, we hunt for safety, to keep our homestead safe. But this has been bear hunting. Hope anybody got anything out of it.